Well, obviously, we've had one of the darkest weeks of our history as a people, perhaps in our lifetime the darkest. Without belaboring the point, probably the single worst day in Jewish history since the Holocaust. And I know that everyone's bombarded and overwhelmed with messages and pleas for tzedakah and to pray for this soldier and that family. I just want to add really 2 points, if I may. And I want to thank Aaron Columbi, one of the wonderful boys in my community who are studying in yeshiva in Israel. And his mother Maya sent me a beautiful little video that he made from Israel saying the following powerful idea. You know, if you look at the tefillin that men wear every morning during the morning services, so there's a black box and there's 2 straps that come down, hang over the right side and the left side. And in Judaism, the right side, the dominant side, is attached to the idea of mercy, God's mercy, and the left side is attached to God's idea of justice, that attribute of deen, of justice, of judgment. And if you look at the front, it seems these 2 straps are separate, and they're 2 separate attributes, and the Almighty either acts one way or the other, or maybe it's 2 separate deities, God forbid. But if you look from the back, the 2 straps come up, and they're joined, and they come out of this single knot that rests on the back of the nape of the neck. The source is one and the same. We're not able to discern light and darkness, good and evil. Or we think this is pure evil, and how could a just God have done this? But it's all one source. It's coming from the same place. People ask, how could God have done this? Where was God in the Holocaust? Where was God last Shabbat? I don't have the answer to these things, nor does really anyone. But I humbly say, what do you mean? How could you not see God in such an unbelievable supernatural event? The only nation in the world that is treated with such barbarism, like the times of going back to medieval times, we haven't seen this behavior. The only nation in this modern contemporary world that's treated like this are the Jewish people. That a bunch of hooligans armed with a bulldozer can break through the most sophisticated defense system on planet Earth by the greatest technological superpower, or one of the greatest. How could this not be above nature? Now, why did it have to happen like that? I don't know. We wish it didn't, obviously. With all our heart and soul, we wish it didn't. But it did. Now what? So idea number 1 is just to recognize it all does come from the same source. Whether you believe in God or not, or whether you're having trouble at this point believing you're in God or not, and that's fair and valid to have that struggle, but really it does come from the same source. It comes from the same knot on the back of the head. That's point number 1. Point number 2 that I want to add is that the way to respond is not to despair, not to be depressed, not to get involved in a very cyclical, unproductive, unhealthy manner. That's normal to feel like this. If you are, you're acting like a normal human being. But we must all together rise above. We must commit to being more Jewishly involved. They attacked us only because we were Jews. There is no other reason. It's not for land. We all know that's silly. It's because we are Jews. So we have to ask ourselves, if we're being attacked, not just attacked, in such a barbaric, hideous manner, because we're Jews, why? Why are they doing that? What does it mean to be Jewish? Find out that answer. And if you think you know that answer, then commit to even investigating more of how you can be more Jewish. Everyone has this challenge now. There is no greater time of need to answer this burning, pressing question. This is a critical Shabbat, one of the most critical Shabbats in the history of our people. We have a chance, in some manner, somehow, in a perhaps minute way, but it is a way, an opportunity for us to rectify or just repair the gaping hole that last Shabbat brought. This Shabbat can bring some measure of healing and sanity to the families who are sitting Shiva, to the people in captivity, to our soldiers who are about to risk everything. Come together, grow, learn, but rise above. Don't get mired in the muck. Don't be in despair. And if you are finding yourself there, reach out for help from anyone you can. The Jewish people need you more than ever now. I'm Yisrael Chai. Shabbat Shalom.